Slow.
All.
I believe. Let's see.
Good morning, you're Gracie Cassidy.
Yes, ma'am.
And Ms. Cassidy was previously in court and entered a plea of guilty in cause number 24 DCCR 1480 to the third-degree felony offense of unlawful carrying a weapon in prohibited place. I've received the pre-sentence report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that report?
It has to.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are there any additions or corrections?
Your Honor, the only, fact I would like to say is she's now living in Georgia and will be transferred to Georgia for supervision.
Just make sure when you talk to probation, they'll get that all taken care of. The biggest thing about your probation being transferred is it kind of means you have double duty. So you will be reporting.
Defendant Gracie Cassidy faces judgment for carrying a weapon, but her tone sparks a dangerous shift. What begins as a chance for redemption turns into a battle of respect and restraint until the judge's patience runs thin.
Where you live, but you're still technically on this probation here in Texas, so it's not like the whole well, no, there's one fee,
Yeah.
but you will have to report either by mail or online here as well each month. So you're going to go in person there, and you also have to report here. So you can't forget to do that mail-in or the online reporting here, because that would be a violation. It's just a lot of people they think they're doing everything right because they're reporting in person over there, but you have to stay in touch with us as well. All right.
Judge, real quick, I apologize. There is one thing, and I spoke to Mr. Megan about this previously.
Oh, that's right.
It seems like maybe a new charge in Georgia. I don't know the circumstances of this, nor do I recognize the charge.
Yeah.
And it's equivalent with us.
Hang on, ma'am.
So that's the only thing that's new that I wasn't aware of, and I spoke to Mr. Megan about before, and he was going to find out.
Okay, so whatever you have to take care of, obviously in Georgia with regard
I don't have anything to take care of. That was what they were hitting me on in Georgia.
That's the case, Judge, but
I got in a car accident and they arrested me because I had a warrant here.
I got you. Okay. All right.
But I believe they dealt with that. Well,
Okay.
there was nothing to deal with. I just had to find out.
That's where you got arrested, and then they transferred you here.
I didn't get transferred. I just had to sit in jail for 44 days.
Okay.
To find out.
Okay. Got it.
it's
Okay.
sufficient mistake.
All right.
I just didn't know.
Okay, Ms. Cassidy, I'm going to find that you previously entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find sufficient
I have a question.
Yes.
This packet, it said like I had to do like 300 hours of community service.
So explain all that to you at probation.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're on felony probation. It's required. If you talk to your probation officer, if you're doing everything right, sometimes they waive part of those. Sometimes they don't. It depends on how you're doing. Do you understand? This could be a lot worse, so you probably need to fix your attitude real quick. So I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time, I'm going to follow your agreement and defer all proceedings and place you on probation for 4 years. You're ordered to pay a $500 fine and to follow all of the rules and conditions of probation. If you do that, this is an excellent opportunity because you do not have a felony conviction on your record. And if you successfully complete the probation, at the end, the case is actually dismissed. You will never have a felony conviction. The other side of that, though, is if you violate any condition of probation, you can be brought back into court, you could be found guilty and sent to prison for anywhere between 2 and 10 years. Do you understand? Okay. One thing is on these types of probation, if you do everything you're supposed to, I sign early terminations from probation all the time. But it means you have to get it all taken care of early and up front. So take care of everything, and then there's the possibility of getting off early. I'm handing you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement that I followed, and so you've waived your right to appeal. You need to have a seat here in the courtroom. Probation's going to call you up to her desk when she's ready to go over your paperwork. All right, good luck to you, ma'am. Thomas Fisher, Mr. Macon.
How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
This is his.
Walking free on deferred probation, but the courtroom's calm doesn't last. Moments later, a young man rejects a plea deal in a shocking gamble that could cost him 20 years. And just when you think the stakes can't rise higher, a woman facing life in prison makes a chilling choice.
I don't know if you want to put this on the record or not, but since this case has been initiated, his father has been essentially acting as a guardian for Chad's whole life. We've gotten that formally done. So I want him to at least be available to participate if Chad has any questions or anything like that.
Okay, and so
he is technically legally under guardianship at this time, and so that's why there's 2 signatures on the plea rejection form. And Mr. Hoffpower, I think, is aware of all of this.
Well, he spoke to me prior to this.
Okay. All right, you're Chad Cracknell?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Cracknell, in cause number 22, hold on, let me get Cause number 22-39948, you're charged with the second-degree felony offense of solicitation of prostitution from February 26th of 2021, and that's for under 18. And what that means is that if you go to trial and you're found guilty by a jury, the range of punishment would be between 2 years and up to 20 years in prison. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And I have here on the computer a plea bargain rejection that you've signed, and it looks like your dad and your attorneys, that shows that the district attorney's office has made an offer if you wanted to plead guilty for a 10-year term in prison, but you would serve that on probation instead of in prison. Do you understand what they have offered you? And you have every right to reject that and have a jury determine if you're guilty, and that jury can decide what your punishment is. And if you go forward, I just want to make sure you understand what your options are if you wanted to enter a plea of guilty today, what the consequences could be if you go to trial. And do you understand all of that?
Yes.
And do you want to reject that offer and have your case set for trial?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then we'll get it set on the trial docket and your lawyers will begin preparation for trial, okay? Y'all are free to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
All right, ma'am, again, is the offer in each case or is it in one and
First degree felony.
with a dismissal of the other or what?
Would be a cap. It's a cap offer with the dismissal.
With the dismissal, I'm gonna,
If he needs to do another one.
no, I just want to fill in the dismiss cause number with everyone's permission.
That's good.
That's
Sorry.
part of the plea bargain. No, that's okay, reject.
Much more high tech down here.
I know. When it works, we are.
I had to get some help.
It is nice once you kind of get used
It
to
is.
it, but, okay. So, Ms. Whitaker, in cause number 24, DCCR 2182, you're charged with the first-degree felony offense of aggravated sexual assault from September 17th of 2024. And what that means is that if you go to trial and you're found guilty, the range of punishment is between 5 years and up to 99 years or life in prison. Do you understand? And I have here on the computer a plea bargain rejection that has your signature with Mr. Morian's that shows that the state has offered, if you wanted to enter a plea of guilty, for a cap of 40 years in prison, which means you would be leaving your punishment up to me, but if I followed that agreement, I couldn't give you more than 40. I can give you 40, I can give you less, I can consider whatever. That would all take place later at a sentencing hearing. You have every right to reject that and have your case set for trial. I just want to make sure you understand all the consequences and possible options. And do you understand that? And do you want to reject that offer and have your case, both cases set for trial? And I don't think I said it, I talked about it, but that part of that plea offer would be for a dismissal in the injury to a disabled individual. Do you understand that as well? Okay, and so I want to make sure that after today, you understand as well that I will not accept, once cases are on my trial docket, I don't accept plea agreements like the same one unless there is new information that either your attorney or the state's attorney did not know today. So once it gets on the trial docket, it's expected to go to trial. If you wanted to change your mind and enter a plea, it would be to something different than this. Do you understand? Okay, we'll get it set on the trial docket. Mr. Morian will begin preparation for trial.
Day begins like any other in Judge Raquel West's courtroom, a routine docket filled with pleas, probation rulings, and quiet anticipation. But beneath the formality lies a storm of emotion and consequence. Gracie Cassidy steps forward first, a young woman charged with unlawfully carrying a weapon. The judge listens carefully, balancing fairness with firmness until Gracie's attitude flickers with defiance. In an instant, the atmosphere shifts. "Fix your attitude real quick," Judge West warns, her tone cutting through the silence. What could have spiraled into disaster becomes a narrow escape. 4 years of deferred probation, a second chance wrapped in warning. Then comes Chad, a soft-spoken defendant facing a second-degree felony. Offered a deal that could spare him prison time, he rejects it outright. The courtroom watches in disbelief as he chooses trial, courage or recklessness. Only time will tell. Finally, Carolyn Whitaker steps forward, accused of aggravated sexual assault, a charge that carries life in prison. The state offers 40 years, but she too rejects the plea, opting for trial. The judge reminds her, once the trial docket begins, there's no going back. Each case, each choice, paints a portrait of justice under pressure, where redemption is rare, patience is fragile, and one wrong word can change a life forever.